Welcome to Front and Center with Jacquie Jordan.
Jacquie Jordan, it's Marla Maples. I hear you've got a new iHeartRadio podcast, Front and Center, making things happen. So here's to all the people who are making impact. Have a great time. God bless.
This is Front and Center with your host, Jacquie Jordan.
Entertainment and pop culture expert Jacquie Jordan is with us.
Two-time Emmy-nominated Hollywood producer Jacquie Jordan.
We are the show where we talk with the change agents, the storytellers, and the activators from behind the scenes, making impacts. And joining me is co-host Phil Barbb. With show producer Stephanie Cobian.
I'm a war myself. I'm a war movie myself.
What I do is provoke conversations and provoke a creative process.
I can tell you, Tommy Lee Jones, when you go to do an interview, he already sets you up.
Welcome back to Front and Center. I'm Jacquie Jordan here with show producer Stephanie Cobian and co-host Phillip Andrew Barbb. And in the hot seat is Essi Bagheri, author of Shattered Soul, True Story of a Child Soldier. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jacquie. I appreciate it.
We talk a lot about the behind-the-scenes people making a difference, and we had a conversation earlier about how sometimes Hollywood over-glamorizes storylines. Sometimes we have these superhero shows that glamorize like soldiers. And this is really the heart of your story, is that you were raised to be a child soldier, which here in the United States we would have called a terrorist.
That's correct. Especially in North America, we are very when what we see is in TV, and my story is that we don't just become a suicide bomber or terrorist or mass shooting or a gang member. Just we don't overnight.
Right.
There's a process, and there's a process that a child like me brainwashed at the age of 13 to do unthinkable, which I can't even imagine to put to think for another 13 years old, 14 year old child. But it's that's unfortunately the society that we live, and we need to educate people.
And a lot of what you went through, because I know your story, I mean, it's almost like you were born into a culture that did it. Your mother, they call her, was it a 12-year-old child bride? We would actually refer that to like kidnapping and rape at this point, but that's, the culture of you were born right into a culture that was really, it's definitely not of American cultural values is what and you were kind of groomed. Can you just talk about some of the grooming process?
My mom got married when she was like not even 12 years old, and my father was 32 years old. And imagine being in that culture.
Kidnapping and rape.
Yes, yeah. I know the word. It's like now we can talk about it. It's
yes,
like, yeah.
Right.
But it's like, and of course, what do you expect for a child to become? And I was 6 months when I was separated from my real mom, and there's so many events happen, Jacquie, that it's like unthinkable. But my whole story is about all these little pieces. Who would have known that at the age of 13, being brainwashed to volunteer?
And what were you promised?
Well, yeah, that's what I say. How were you sold? I mean, essentially, what they would tell you is to make you do things. They're selling you on something. They're showing you the gold.
For sure.
Fool's gold.
Definitely. It's, again, we come back to that brainwashing that as a 13-year-old child, and being grew up as we just already talked, dysfunctional family, being so physically, mentally, emotionally, and every way abused. Age of 13, of course, I wanted to belong to someone, and here comes group of people promise you to, go to heaven and all these things. Have 72 virgin, and at that time I wanted to just belong to somewhere, and that's where I choose. I can say I choose at the time to join.
Does a 13-year-old even know what all those things that they promised were?
No.
I mean, the 13-year-old doesn't know what 72 virgins are.
No, of
right?
course, exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's what they're using.
I think all you know is acceptance, and all you know is a sense of belonging, in a sense that here are people that are creating an environment that you feel that they care about you and that you have value and you have worth. And it's like that. I think that's so core fundamental to what all of us experience in life of wanting. And especially when you're in a situation where you weren't getting that and then it came along, like it makes so much sense why at 13 it was a deal you're going to turn down.
Do you want to share what happened to your friends? I mean, because what happened to your friends was a turning point for you in getting out.
Well, I was in a training camp for almost 3 to 4 months, and then I was ready to, we were in a battlefield at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's just chaos all over, bomb, bullets, everything, bodies, and I saw my friend step on a landmine in front of me, and he was like 14 years old, and then he blew up to the pieces. And the impact of that explosion threw me out a few meters away, and I became conscious, and I said, this is wrong, and I don't want to do that. And just thinking about it, I talk about this a lot, but every time that I talk about it, it just brings me so much emotion.
Of course.
And then I realized that I don't want to do this.
And this, I just want to say, like, this is real. And in here, in the keeping with this, all that glitters is not gold, we kind of glamorize this whole super soldier thing where,
war
children are being kidnapped and born into a real situation that is not only a violation of your every right you have, and it's also a violation of the agenda that is pointing it at other people too.
That's right.
It's just wrong in every level, and just calling that out, with sharing your story in the way that it's, it is kind of a consciousness poke, like we just need to keep it real, even as entertainment people telling stories.
Yeah, as I said, it's unfortunate, but to finish that subject that I was in, I couldn't go back and say, I'm sorry, I changed my mind, I'm scared, I'm a kid, I don't want to do that. And the only choice that I had at the time to pull my gun and put it in my arm and shoot myself. And so they think that I get shot by enemy and able to escape, and the rest is just history, trauma, addiction, psych ward, and on and on and on to where I'm at today.
Yeah, you're such a bright light. Yeah. You're such a bright light, and you're so important to be out there speaking, and with the courage that you have to share your story with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
How does it feel to see the glamour in Hollywood of like war story? Do you watch any war? I assume you don't. Yeah.
Great question. It's like my friend always asks me, "Let's go to watch this war movie." It's like, and it's like I'm a war myself. I'm a war movie myself.
Right. I can feel like that too.
The real war, and it's like I'm not attractive. What can you?
You don't do video games then
I
either?
don't video games. I don't watch.
Even superhero movies are. There's a lot of fighting in the superhero movies. Even if there's no blood or actual stuff, there's still violence.
Totally. I like movie too. What I would like watch things that inspires me, and it's bring human inside.
Yeah. Well, was there no access other than the terror to anything but the terror? Like, were you like because what you went through is cult mentality, gang mentality.
Yes.
They control. I mean, you're in a controlled environment. Is there a different scenario now for your fellow children in your country?
Totally. It's like, it's even as we speak, there are places right now that children have been used, and even as we speak in Iran, there's like a child soldier, and it's like we don't see, in especially in North America, what we see, we talk about terrorism and war and all these things, and we talk about it on a dinner table and say pass the gravy, and while we are watching a disaster on TV, because we don't see the impact.
Yes, we're disconnected. We're very disconnected from
humanity. That what can bring into the our in my case, as a child, and escape from country to country in a refugee camp, and being the things that I've been through, 17 treatments into 29 detoxes, a couple of times trying to kill myself, but altogether there's a message of hope that I'm here, and And if a person like me can go through all the pain and struggle and all the things that I've been through, and I sit here in Los Angeles in front of you beautiful people, that anybody can change their lives. And that's the message I'm trying to carry to whoever I spoke to.
What do you think has been the biggest catalyst for you in terms of, because there's some people that could have your story and be very angry
Good
at
question.
life and could be very angry at everyone that had a different type of experience than you did. And you see people that haven't gone through what you did, and in the luxuries they have in life and the way that they complain about the luxuries and those things. But you're not that way. Like, you want the best for people. What do you think is the catalyst of why that's what your stance is now?
I believe one of the most important transformation that I had was when I went in 12-step program, and I realized and I started feeling that I'm not a victim, because for many years I was feeling victimized my whole life, and I had to change that to realize, you know what, I am responsible for my life now, and to sit in here and people that they don't know me, when I become friends and talk to them, they can't even imagine like the personality that I have. Like people, I've been told that you're so kind, you're so loving, you're so friendly.
You're so clear.
So calm.
You're so clear. That's what I get from you, is just the clearness. Like, I don't feel when I'm with you or talking to you that you're holding any of that anymore. Like, it's you've somehow reconciled it, made peace with it, integrated it, transmuted it, become of service to it. Like, that's what I get from you.
There's a peace.
Yeah.
There's a peace.
That seems impossible.
That's
for me listening,
yeah.
like for us listening, it just feels like impossible. Like,
Your voice is smoothing. You're just very calm and.
Thank you. It's it hasn't been easy road. It's but again, I had a transformation that and enable for me to enjoy this. I need to pass it around. I need to share it to the world that that's possible. And doesn't matter where we come from, what challenges we've been through, what color we are, and all the things that we've been through in our society, that we are human being. And the only thing that I believe that counts for me today is love. Period. And you cannot argue with that.
nope,
It's
can't
love.
argue with that.
If you have a photo that's inspired you, that you've seen online, or that you've posted or you've taken and you've been like online in the last like 30 days, what would be your photo spire?
There is a friend of mine that he was really struggling in addiction, and right now he's sober for many years. And the post that he put on social media and the way that I watch him change his life is inspiring to me. And every time he put a post, it's like you can connect where you saw him many years ago and you saw him now, and they're trying to. It's just you cannot buy that, and that inspires me.
Essi's book is Shattered Soul, the true story of a child soldier, Essi Bagheri. I am telling you, the read in this book will be better than any fictionalized super soldier story that Hollywood could come up with. And it's true, and you've overcome it, and you are a true superhero. So thank you, Essi.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Still to come, these two ladies are making impact from behind the scenes in their own unique way in Hollywood.
My role is one of a story whisperer. So I'm behind the scenes. No, you won't see my name anywhere.
I am the first video collection at the Academy that they've ever taken. Most of their research was always print. They never thought about film or video.
If you are doing extraordinary things from behind the scenes, from any walk of life, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a note on our website, frontandcenterpodcast.com. If you're ready to write that book you've been putting off, join us at desperatpublishing.com for a how-to step-by-step online course that shares your publishing options and paces you on how to structure your book.